Our book of the month is here, and this one is called Million of Suns on Writing and Life. Explores the journey that an author takes to get those words on a page.
Joining us now to talk about this are the book's co-authors, Sharon, Fagan, McDermott, and MC Benner Dixon. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about what this book is about.
So it is a book of essays, personal essays, but we wanted to kind of encourage other people to write. It's an invitation for other people to join us in writing. We've met a lot of people over the years as teachers who said, oh, I have a story to tell. Oh, I wish I could leave this for my children, write these stories. And now we're giving you a book that's going to help you do that.
So it's kind of like a guide, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's definitely not a how-to manual. This book, although you look at the chapters and they look like they're all, they each tackle a different element of writing. There's imagery and structure and revision, but the stories are very personal. What we're really talking about is how writing and art of any kind lands in us as people, as artists, as humans with creative drive.
Yeah. In my other life, I always say that I would like to write a book, right? But I can never figure out what a good inspirational story would be. But you're saying that sometimes you can find inspiration in unlikely places.
In my essay on inspiration in here, I had actually just gotten off the phone with a sister who was talking about my mother who had caught COVID. This was early on in the pandemic. And, I just was taking a walk. It was an icy morning. I was walking my dog, and I was just feeling sad. But I came back, and just that walk, being able to describe the winter scene, what I had discussed with my mother, feeling sad about a family member who was sick, just became an essay for me. So literally anything, what you're doing right now is an essay. Walking to your job is an essay. You just have to start paying attention. That's the thing we encourage the most.
Yeah.
That you really have to start tuning into the present moment that you're in.
Well, and so often we're just so glued to our devices that you have to remind yourself, unfortunately, to be so present. And I'm glad you talked about that personal story because there are so many, that's kind of a recurring theme in here. What is it like to write stories about family, to open up in that way?
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little bit dicey. You want to make sure.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. Everyone knows. A couple stories in there. Yeah, so you do have to be thoughtful about what you're putting out on the page when you're publishing. You have the right to tell your story for yourself at any moment. But when you're publishing, you want to think about what does this mean to say it? Why do I need to say this story? And sometimes it's about legacy. I have a story about my grandmother. Who is was a very retiring woman. She was meek, she was mild, she wanted to be in the background, but she was a powerhouse. And to tell her story, to talk about my little Grammy Benner, in a book that people will read, I mean, it would blow her mind, but she deserves that honor. She deserves to be remembered, and I want to put that story down for her.
Oh, yeah, you speak so eloquently. Were you both always interested in writing? And what was it like to co-author a book together? Yeah.
Wow, those are two great questions. I'll tackle the first one. I knew I wanted to be a writer when I was a little girl. And I'm one of 12 children, big Irish family.
We were just talking about postpartum recovery.
I know.
Earlier.
So you can imagine the dinner table with 12 children. And I come home and I'm like, oh, I got a B in spelling. And everyone is yelling over you.
Yeah.
So at a very early age, I discovered the page could be a place I could be heard.
Oh, I like that.
So I started writing all the time, and my mother kept buying me journals, and my father encouraged me. My parents were very encouraging about it. And then I just fell in love with it. I thought, even if no one else is around to hear the story you need to tell, that page is always there for you. And you get to say what you need to say at the time you need to say it.
Well, and it's cathartic, too. It's such a helpful process for anybody who wants to do it. And back to Mikey's question about working together, what was that like?
Yeah, well, I think this is part of what drew Sharon and me together, is that we both understand the power of the page and the power of language. So when Sharon approached me and said, hey, do you want to write a book together? I was like, yep.
You didn't
then we
hesitate.
decided what it was going to be about.
Yeah.
But we know that powerful journey was something that we wanted to do together, and we had a great time. We make each other laugh. but it was supportive, and it was always about putting the friendship first and letting the art kind of support that as we go.
It's wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so much for
I'm
coming on
inspired.
today.
We should write a book together.
Let's do it. We'll write about our postpartum journey.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Bestseller.
That's right. Well, to learn how you can purchase this book, as well as a list of literary events happening in the area, you can head to our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh. We'll link you up with Pittsburgh.